Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and today we let the little ones out into the yard with the alpacas, our specials and little ones. So Sheldon there, as soon as we come out, Sheldon and Hazel both start calling. Hi, Pacas. Hi, Sheldon. How you doing, buddy? It's still pretty cold out, isn't it? You know, it's above zero, but it is that wind. What is it, Hazel? Look at the fluff, yeah. Even though she was inside, there's still quite a bit of fluff. That's the winter coat, and that's what keeps them warm.
I don't do it.
Come on, guys. Fernando! What are you doing, buddy? Yeah. Billie Jean and George. How you doing, George? Just sitting there chewing your cud? And the little ones. So here's the little ones. It looks like it's feeding time. Coco and her two little ones. And then we have Petunia's, Blackie's two, so the black one. And then the other one over here. And then we have Petunias. One is over on the other side of Petunia. And we have the other one right here. Is it time to go in, guys? Yeah. It's not as nice as it was yesterday. They were out yesterday. The sun was shining. They were enjoying the weather. But today we just noticed them kind of just in a little pile. So time to go back in. I think this is it for. It looks like there's some. Poor Moira. He's like got caught with the moms. This coming week seems to be warming up, so it'll be nice. But yeah, that wind is just getting stronger. We're supposed to get some rain. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, well, there we go. Own little catwalk.
Now you can open the door.
Now we open the door. There we go, mamas.
Coco.
The mamas first. Kids. Come on, kids. Here comes Fernando. Oh, boy. What's going on in here, girls? No, we're not getting any kind of grains. Looks like everything's pretty much safe. I don't like these screws here. We'll take the screws. If you kids would have only followed your mother. Come on. Oh. One more. Oh no! Come on, kids! Your moms are calling you. Come on. There we go. Finally. Oh, those kids don't listen, do they, Blackie? Hey? Yeah, you guys are just wanting some grains. Coco, no, there's nothing there for you.
Go. Up. 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 Up.
There we go. Come on, Blackie.
Blackie, come on. Up.
There we go. Good job.
You gotta start the sounds. Up. Up. So that when they're out in the bush, I can call them. They'll get to know that sound. Right? Mamas know it, but get the babies to know it.
Now it's playtime. Nice and warm underneath the heat lamp over there. That's usually where you'll find them all cuddled up. Oh, Blackie. It's like whenever you see Mom, you think of food.
That is her spot every morning.
Yeah, I know. It's just jump up, Petunia. Oh, here we go. There you go. So one thing we just ended up doing was the dusting the goats. So we had, whenever you have some kid goats that are born, they're fairly low to the ground. Usually it's just after winter. You know, you could have some bugs in around, and it's quite often that you do find little bugs on them. So when we clean them or ash them, you can use fireplace ashes. So if you have a fireplace or a wood-burning stove, or if you know somebody who has, get some of those ashes, and that basically suffocates the little bugs. You can also use DE, which is called diatomaceous earth. You just want to make sure that you stay away from the nose and eyes. Breathing in diatomaceous or ashes, for that matter, can be you know, can be a little uncomfortable. So you want to kind of stay away from that. And treat them. Check them and then treat them again. Do it a few times a week, 2-3 times a week. You can put the ashes or diatomaceous earth down around in their bedding to make sure that there's nothing in their bedding as well, and then just check them. It's alpaca feeding time. So they've got in this container here, they take turns sticking their head in, and it's basically an alpaca feed. Take your turns, guys. So they get this twice a day just to maintain. And then, of course, their hay is their staple. Just no spitting. Paula sometimes will spit. And you can always tell when they're about to spit because their nose kind of goes up in the air slightly and they pause. Not all alpaca spit. Llamas we've found spit more often, but yeah, it's got feathers. Oh, no, that's not feathers. That's her white little patch. It almost looks like some feathers on her head.
You need like a brush. We need to like strap you up and brush you guys.
Shear them.
Look at her hair.
I know, and it's got all the hay.
Oh, it's windy. That's why.
Yeah, she's all windblown. It's too windy outside, isn't it, Chansey? So the alpaca have been very mindful of the little ones. So they've been in this pen and able to go out that door over there.
What?
Oh!
Oh, spitting at Marley.
That was the
that.
the spit look.
I heard that.
Yeah. And usually Paula will spit at Marley. If she doesn't get her way, she's like, I'm gonna spit at you. So they are very mindful and have been looking down and watching.
It's all gone. All gone.
Watching for the little ones. So that is excellent to see. It was cute. On one of the cameras, we actually saw Shanzi over by the hay eating, and Sheldon comes up and starts to push Shanzi around. So it was kind of cute. So the pond, the ducks are enjoying a portion of the pond anyway. Seem to be opening it up. So we want to get this pipe in and get the water circulating and dumping up into this, which will then fill up and overflow into the other section. The pump usually sits just down in here, right down low, and then pumps up this hose here. and then into the smaller pond. So we were planning on doing it possibly today, but since it's so windy and it's a little chilly and we're dealing with ice water, yeah, we don't want to hook that up yet. The line's probably still frozen. So that is, I mentioned it in the last video, that's our aerator for our pond. Woo, look at that thing go. And it pumps down water into an air stone that's down there. So usually we have to wait until it's completely thawed because there's water in the line. Oh, there's some ice there. Come on, you can do it. Yep, break it up for us.
Good girl.
Come on, there you go. Yeah, you winner. Celebrate.
She's trying to swim that way. And it was push the ice.
Getting caught in the ice. Well, hi, Meadow. How are you? Oh, you got some eye goobers, don't you? Hey? Yeah. Oh, enjoying the nice weather outside. So her and her dad, Levi, have been going out in the back and hanging out and having a good time. Where is Levi? Levi must be over here because there's some new hay. Turbo. Hi, Turbo. How you doing, bud? Some people asked about how the other animals were doing since Lambert passed. They've all been doing really well. Turbo has been, he's usually all jumpy and happy. And for a few days afterwards, he did appear to be a little more quiet. But he seems to be back to normal now. Here is Levi. What's going on back there, you boys? Get along. There's a little bit of roost. Oh, there we go. So, the far one there, when they do that kind of sidestep, the sidewalk, it's called cockeyed. So they're trying to make it look like they're walking forward, but they're doing a sidestep, and that's how they do their attack. So I think this one's more alpha than this one here, because this one seems to have now just given up. And you can have all these roosters in this area. It's not a problem as long as they have some space to get away. You don't want them in a close, enclosed area, or they'll then fight. They'll be forced to fight. So you just give them their space, and they have a place to get out. Levi? Oh, and I'm filming again while it's feeding time. Oh, but you're going to come see me anyway, aren't you, buddy? Yeah. All right. I figured I'd stay a little bit out of the wind here. So there's a few things that went on this past week. We had another visit from our local coyote. Now, he had shown up a few times, and we've caught him on camera. Over by the pond, he did take out, from what we understand, 2 ducks. So we lost 2 ducks to the coyote. We are trying to reinforce some of our fencing. We've been talking to local trappers, and we do have a trap that is a couple traps. They're live traps that are hooked up at the back of the property where we think he's coming in. So protective measures we're thinking of doing is our alpaca. They may or may not be good for coyote management because the coyote usually comes in the evening when the ponies and the alpaca and everybody are in this building, and the ducks are out over closer to the pond. So that may or may not work. But we haven't seen him in a few days, so we're hoping that maybe he has moved on. There was actually one instance where he came out earlier on in the day while it was still light out. It was probably, I think it was morning, it was about 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, and he came out and just hung out, and he didn't get anybody. He tried to go for a rooster. Rooster fought back a little bit. He looked a little confused, and then Tara came out on the deck and yelled at him, and he decided, well, it was time to head off. So I don't think we've actually seen him since, which is good news, because Tara has not been able to sleep, and she's been all over the place. Her mind's been going 100 miles a minute. So things are drying up, and the trench has dried up. So when we had fixed this fence earlier, this bottom section here inside the trench is not connected, or was not connected, and it was full of water, so we couldn't really do anything with it. That's not a problem with the ducks and geese going in and out. They do that. But of course they don't want, we don't want our sheep and goats to go out in that area. So what are you doing? You got a stick. That is not the proper way to do the wire. Are you gonna? Oh! Why did you do that? Oh, the pain. Oh.
I'm making sure it was on.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's on.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, it went right into the ground. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
That.
All right.
It's on.
Yeah, so we'll have to shut it off, and then hook up this other wire here onto that. That'll wake you up in the morning. Well, Rebecca got zapped when she was closing the gate. When the who was it? Whoa, was it Rebecca? Who was it that?
Rachel.
Rachel, that's it.
Yeah.
She got zapped.
Go. She's got horses.
Yeah, yeah. And that was last week.
That hurt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like that was like a heartbeat that just right into.
I know. It's really heavy.
I touched it at the back. It wasn't that hard.
Well, we've fixed it up since. So.
I don't think Paula will go through that.
Let's hope not. So yeah, we want to get Paula out probably next weekend. We'll bring Paula out and we'll take her over and we'll actually introduce her to the fence. And hopefully she gets shocked. Now that might seem cruel or bad, but that's actually something you want to do.
But I'm not going to touch the fence.
Yeah, see, Tara's not going to touch the fence again. She learned. In some of the instructions on some of the equipment, it actually states in there, if you have dogs, you want to actually introduce your dogs to the fence so they know, because if they look through, you don't want them to come barreling along and get caught in the electric fence and then get jolted numerous times. You want to make sure that the dog knows that that is an electric fence. And we did that years ago. We threw a little toy on the other side. That was Max, I think.
Dog's smarter than me because I know it's electric.
Well, yeah. So we threw a little toy over and the dog went to go get it and he got zapped and he stayed away from it from there on. Same thing happened with Toby. Was that last year? I think it was last year or 2 years ago. His ball came down and went over the fence, and we opened up the gate into the back animal area, and then he went over, but it was just underneath the fence and he touched it and he wouldn't go back again. Wow, that wind is something else. And that's why I'm wearing my parka now, because it just getting that wind, it's cold.
Well, a lot of like spring cleanup and everything, right? Like raking up and.
Yeah, Tara will be out here raking. Now things are drying up. This area here is nice and dry under here, and we've done all right with everything. So it seems to be spring is well on the way.
Has a new, that's salmon.
What are you doing?
So
yes, I'm right here, bud.
This is the one that passed away. This is Hi. Hey? Yes. Hey?
And he's always right there.
A lot of people, when they have ducks, are in this foam that you see in their eyes. It just comes because they're talking so much. They need to go wash their faces. And
and they don't. Muscovies don't usually do too much with water. And I showed that in the last video. You see the rowan and you see the blue Swedes and you see pecans, and they're just in the water all the time.
Come summer, when I see that, I take them and I throw them in the pond. Have a bath.
So some other exciting news that happened this past week is Roxy, that was with us and left with Rebecca 2 weeks ago. Rebecca's worked a lot with horses, which is good for Roxy because Roxy's a little wild. She hasn't been handled in quite a while, and Roxy is pregnant. Or was pregnant. So last Tuesday on the, I think it was the 14th, Rebecca got a call or a text from her roommate and saying, it's happened. You've got a little one here. So she couldn't wait to get home. She went home and checked her out, and it was a little filly. So that's some exciting news. Before, it was only a few days, I think 2-3 days before, she made a post where she cleaned Roxy up. She had to get her all secured because she is still a little wild. She doesn't like being handled too much. But she brushed out all the burrs and she braided her mane and tail. She looks great. It's always good if you have a pony or a horse that's expecting. It's always good to clean up that tail and put it into a braid because it just makes things a lot cleaner.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Oh, hi, baby. Hi. Hi. Oh, you are just so cute. Yeah, it's okay, Mom. It's okay. Hi. I love Mom. Hi, baby girl. Oh, hi, baby. Oh, you're so cute. Yeah, it's not your baby, Abby. It's not your baby.
So they ended up with Pearl. So Pearl is the little one's name. So while I'm making these videos, there's a lot of times where I will mess up, and it's normal. I don't do it all in one take, and I do mess up. I did an actual video, it was it this year or last year? I did a past video on bloopers that I make, and something that happened, it didn't end up in last video. I just kind of hung on to it. I figured, I might as well show it to you now. So when I do my opening, or when I did my opening last week, it was up front with the boys, and I'm just heading up there to check in on them. Well, I'll just let you watch it. Welcome to the 10 Acre Woods. My name's Mark, and this video is actually inspired by... Okay. Did you just eat my zipper? You did too. Okay. Can we get that out of there? You don't need to be eating that. Come on. Oh. Ah, there it is. Oh man. Billy, there's the end of my zipper that he just pulled off. You're a goof. Okay, let's put that in my pocket. Gotta watch you. So you can see what I have to deal with sometimes. Sometimes I get tongue twisted. Sometimes a rooster cuts me off. Sometimes I get head-butted by a goat, Carl or Billy, that wants to play. Not me head-butted, but they head-butt my leg or something. So there's lots of things, especially when working with animals and filming animals. It can be tough to do it all in one take. Oh, look at you guys! Wow, you got the whole place to yourself. Whoa, windy, except for Rogue Duck. So these guys are hanging out. Oh, there's some more. There's some Scofie over there. The donkeys leave and you get a bunch of ducks. Hey guys. Oh boy. If you want to watch a video, I made a midweek video last week about goats. So you can check that out from last week's video, and it's just all about their care. I did miss a few things. And of course, that's yet another thing when you're editing and you post it and you go, oh, I could have done that and I could have done this. So you can always hang on to things and try to make it perfect. But that's you just got to put it out there. Make your deadline, get it out. It was actually for a school that was looking at doing some homeschooling project, so I wanted to make sure I got it out that week. But I did put a comment in the description, a link in the description, showing 2 other videos where there's hoof trimming that's involved. So I didn't do the actual hoof trimming in that video, but I did put those links down in the description. So if you are watching that, there's also a card that'll appear up in the top corner as well. Here are the guinea fowl. So this is our septic field. It's our raised septic field, and we've got some flax straw that is up there, and that's just to keep the septic field insulated so it doesn't freeze. We had it freeze a couple years in a row a few years ago, and it's not the nicest thing. So these guys eat wood ticks. They might not be the prettiest bird, but they do a really good job in getting all those little bugs. Whoop! Well, that is it for another video. I hope you enjoyed it. A little tour around the farm before it warms up. I'm sure it's going to warm up sooner rather than later. If you want to support our channel, you can head over to our Patreon page. Some of those deleted scenes, back scenes, and behind the scenes and all that good stuff I've put over there for my Patreon members. Tara is out calling the animals. She's just going for a walk in the back, and she's calling the animals, but I don't think they want to go with her. Says, no, there's food up here. Other ways to support our channel is to watch these videos, of course. I've got playlists all set up. You can go to our main page and click on the playlist button, and I've got them organized per year, 2016 through 2020. So you can do that. I put ads on the videos, and that monetization comes back to us to help us here on the farm. So again, that is it. I thank you all for your support. If you've gotten this far in the video, I thank you very much for watching my content, and we will see you next time. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.